then I can control it like this. On one side I can stop it, and the other side I can stop it. So, what I want to understand is that how these gears inside, how does the differential work? Like I have a core understanding. They're just two parts of an axle and they're connected. But like I want to go in detail. Like for example, this is going normal fast, but this gear goes faster than.
Okay, Ibrahim, hold on. Do one thing now. Today, right after this, I don't have any class. Okay, na? So if it happens that after my class on the same link, if there won't be any other classes now, we'll be discussing about it in detail during that 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, na?
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Salman, how are you? Salman, Halima, turn your cameras on. So as you guys are aware, we have started the revision. Okay, in the last class, Ibrahim, you were absent in the last class, by the way. So in the last class, we were doing some
Yes, sir.
questions from the chapter Nutrition in Animals. Okay, na? And I have been saying you guys repeatedly that make sure to read the chapter. If you encounter some doubts, you may ask here. Okay. Also, like while we are doing the questions now, so it might make your doubts usually comes up there. Okay, so we discuss it there as well.
I'm sure doubts can come many times.
Mhm. During discussion,
And
during
then,
questions, your doubts gets highlighted.
Sir,
Yep, Halima.
sir, in nutrition in animal, I mean, which one is it? Nutrition in animals.
Yeah,
You asked the question that why do we get instant energy from glucose, right?
yeah, we had this question. Yeah.
Yeah, but you only explained it in like you wrote it in scientific.
Okay.
But what is the answer for this? I didn't understand.
Oh, okay, okay.
sir,
The
can I try
explanation.
saying? Can I try
Hold on,
saying?
hold on. The explanation was clear
Okay.
or not, Halima?
So the
You.
explanation was clear, but the like how are we supposed to write it?
Okay, okay. Let us understand how we address this question. That okay. So as you guys, as everyone should know, that our body instantly absorbs glucose. Like we get instant energy from glucose.
Because it's already slightly broken down.
Not slightly, but it is
It's a,
already in the simplest form. It's the simplest form of
yeah, it's a simple
carbohydrate.
form.
So it
Yeah.
does not need further breakdown. Getting it?
It
So
takes less time.
the answer to this question will be written in the following manner. That's the question. Let's write down an answer for this. Okay. You guys may start writing down the answer. First, write down the question. Let me give you explanation in some bullet points. Like, let me explain it first of all. So the again, I'm explaining it like Ibrahim was absent. So glucose, it is already the simplest form of carbohydrate. It is already the simplest form of carbohydrate. So it does not need any further breakdown. On the other hand, you are having some complex forms of carbohydrate, like
Yeah,
uh, like for example, you have starch.
According to.
Starch is also a carbohydrate, and it's a complex
Mhm.
carbohydrate, right, Salman?
Spinach. Present in spinach.
It
And
is
so.
it is indeed, it is present in spinach, in potato, etc., in rice. Complex carbohydrate, right? So it needs to be digested. It has to be digested. It has to be broken down. While digestion, it gets broken down, then our body can get energy from it. So for example, if you eat a potato, you take some potato, you boil it, you're not going to get instant energy. On the other hand, you take 1 or 2 tablespoons of glucon D. You guys have heard about glucon D, right? You guys are from India,
sir,
like
we
it's
can we
popular
can
here.
take banana also.
Yeah, we can take banana as well, right?
Yeah,
Banana
that
is
contains.
good for. Mhm.
Yeah, fruits contain fructose, which is a
Mhm.
type of sugar which we can consume.
Yeah.
So like it also gives
So
us instant.
yeah. So when we drink glucose solution like glucon D, you have heard about glucon D, right? Glucon D
Um,
or like
no,
oral
I've heard
no
about but I've heard
ORS.
about other drinks which give you instant energy.
So like you have oral dehydration solution, so they contain
Yeah.
glucose and it is quickly absorbed directly into the bloodstream. This glucose is
It gives you
directly
instant energy.
uh-huh. So
It
since it
gives
is
you
directly absorbed into the bloodstream and the blood carries it to where will the blood carry it to? It will carry it to the cells
it
now.
will carry to the cells,
Cell.
and the cells will assimilate, will do the process of assimilation, which is using the nutrients for the process of for using it.
Hmm. So
So
cells
since we get
have continue.
so yeah, then we are capable of doing physical activities like running
Hmm.
outdoors. That's why
Good,
people
good.
usually drink glucose drinks
Yeah,
when they're
particularly when they have to do
tired.
some physical workout, they will be doing it. Okay, or if they are very tired, feeling weak, they will be. So what happens in the cell? We have a structure called as mitochondria in which respiration happens. Everyone knows about respiration now, right?
Yes.
And in respiration, what basically
Yes.
happens? The glucose is broken down with the help of oxygen. Further, it is broken down, and then we get
Yeah.
energy and we get carbon dioxide and water from this. Getting it now? So that is why after heavy exercise or like if you're ill or like because of a fatigue, so we drink glucose solution and that gives us instant energy. Okay, now so glucose is getting directly absorbed into the blood and blood further takes it to the cell where it is broken down and we get energy. So that is how it works. Let me write down this in sentence. You guys also write down the answer. Okay, now first of all, you will write a introductory paragraph to this question. As always, I have said, first of all, write a small paragraph, and then then add bullet points in your answer. Write your answers in bullet points. Then, so we will write down that our body needs energy to perform every activity. Perform every activity. We can write from walking to running, running to even breathing. Right now, you guys know we don't realize like breathing is a continuous activity which we are doing right now. Although we don't spend significant amount of energy, you don't have to put very like so much of effort into breathing the air. But
The muscular contraction and relaxation.
yeah,
That's it.
but the thing is that our body needs to spend some amount of energy even in doing a simple action like breathing. So our body needs energy to perform every activity
So
from
if we have
walking to
zero
running to
energy,
even
we
breathing.
could die.
Yeah,
We could die instantly.
yeah. Ibrahim, you also write it down.
Yeah.
To even breathing and even for thinking also you need energy now, right?
Yeah. They
Okay.
say that when you think,
Hmm.
you have enough electricity flowing through your brain to power a light bulb.
Hmm. So this energy usually it comes from the food which we eat, which mainly contains carbohydrates, right? So this energy
Mhm.
usually comes uh sh- should simply write that this energy comes from the food which we eat that mainly contains carbohydrate. The food that we eat, like it has chapati in it, right? Chapati, rice, etc. So these foods usually contain so much of carbohydrate in it. But most carbohydrates, like starch, it first needs to be broken down into simpler forms. Like a starch needs to be broken down into simpler forms. From complex, it needs to be broken down into simpler form while it is being broken down
Glucose,
and
like
digest.
glucose, for example.
Exactly like glucose. Okay. Then it can be only absorbed and we can
Usually
get energy.
maltose if it's wheat, maltose if it's wheat,
Hmm.
and partially in the
So
mouth.
that mainly contains carbohydrate like starch. So the food which we eat that mainly contains carbohydrate like starch, uh, which first needs to be broken down into simpler forms before they can provide us energy. They can provide energy. Okay. Now from here you are going to change the paragraph. Okay, now. But however, glucose being the simplest carbohydrate does not require digestion. It is directly absorbed into the blood. Okay, now. However, glucose being the simplest carbohydrate requires no digestion and hence gives energy and hence is directly absorbed into the blood and hence is directly absorbed in the blood and transported to cells. I'll be writing the remaining part over here. Let me erase this first. Transported to cells to release energy. Okay. So that will be the answer to this question. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Write it down, everyone, quickly. So today we'll be quickly revising the chapter that is heat. In the chapter heat, we have previously learned about the concept of heat. Okay, heat, which is a form of energy. We have learned about temperature. We have learned about different scales of temperature like Fahrenheit, degree Celsius,
Heat, temperature, and
thermo.
its effects.
Yeah,
Heat, temperature, and
yeah, that's the full name of the
so.
chapter.
And I have a big problem.
Mhm.
Sometimes the
First, finish this also. Keep writing this also while you're answering. Asking.
so like the thing is that sometimes one goes faster and sometimes one goes slower.
What are you referring to?
See, means like when I naturally put it like this, one goes faster and one goes slower. Like
Ibrahim,
how
as a
do I
Satan,
improve the friction?
Ibrahim, right now, focus here. We can do
Oh,
that
okay.
later after the class.
Sir, I am done.
Done. Okay, others also hurry up. Yeah. So we had learned about the thermometers in that chapter. Which liquid is
Yeah.
used in the glass thermometer? You guys tell me.
Mercury, and for the
Mercury.
other type of thermometer, you can also use alcohol.
Okay. Alcohol is generally not
Sir,
not a preferred option.
mainly
But
It's
in
in
used
glass
for
laboratories.
in
yeah.
clinical
It's
thermometer,
Mhm.
in clinical thermometer there is mercury in it.
Yeah, in the clinical thermometer as well as in the laboratory thermometer, both of them contains mercury. And as the one which you are referring to, no, the alcohol.
What are you doing?
Pay attention here. So alcohol that is used for the study of atmosphere and the conditions of the weather. Because alcohol remains a liquid between the temperature minus 112 degrees Celsius to 78 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, alcohol remains in the liquid state. Therefore, temperature as low as minus 100 degrees Celsius can be measured with alcohol. Getting it now? Because if you are in, let's say, in an area where the temperature drops below zero, so water will start to freeze right now. So there, instead of water, we'll be
Yeah.
using an alcohol-based thermometer, which does not freezes even at minus 112 degrees Celsius. It's an interesting fact. Others should also know, Halima and Salman, that
Yeah,
alcohol
and
does not freezes even at this temperature.
they
Uh,
say that the coldest temperature ever got The coolest temperature matter ever got to was 38
Mm-hmm.
picokelvin, or 0 Kelvin.
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin is actually technically the perfect unit, as 0 Kelvin means that it's very cold.
Yeah.
0 degrees Celsius is not very cold, but 0 Kelvin is much colder than people think. Like it's something like 350 degrees Celsius,
Mm.
negative 350 degrees
In
Celsius,
in fact, the SI unit of heat is that is Kelvin. Okay,
because
no.
Kelvin is the first scale and it's the best one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Quite accurate.
Yeah. Everyone done with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like SI
Yes,
unit
sir.
particularly that is joule, but Kelvin it's one of the standard scale of measurement. Okay, no.
Yeah, because heat is an energy form, so
Yes,
that's
it's
why it's.
in joule. It is measured. Okay, I'll be changing this right now. So let's do one thing. You were writing. Okay, finish it quickly. Yeah. So first, I'll give you a brief overview of the different things we have learned, and then we are going to do the questions. Okay.
Yeah,
While
this
we'll be
question also
discussing
came from my exam.
which one?
This chapter came from my exam.
Oh,
Heat and
okay.
its effects.
Okay, good. Okay. Halima, did you read anything at home? I had told in the last class to read something at home.
What's it?
Did you read anything at home from the chapter Heat?
I don't know.
No,
Hey, Ibrahim, sit in a quiet place. There's some noise coming from your com- Yeah, Salman, I'll be dropping the screenshot in the chat box then. Finish it quickly. Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Actually, my something happened. That's why.
Okay, no issue. So let's take the help of
So we also have to answer it, right? We also have to answer it, right?
yeah. Right now, I'll be only giving the description of the chapter quickly. Okay, I mean to say, I'll be explaining all the concepts quickly, and then after I'll be done. Okay, now while I'll be explaining, you guys will only raise questions. Okay, you can raise your hand to ask only relevant questions. Okay, now try to avoid off-topic questions so we can complete the revision quickly. Okay, I'll be taking your questions later on. Like if you have some other questions that is not related to topic, I'll be taking it later. Yeah, Salman.
Sir, I'm done.
Done. Oh, that's good. So in the chapter, like these were the contents which we have discussed. Everyone pay attention here quickly. Pay attention here. Salman, you turn your camera on. So we had learned about heat. We have learned about hot and cold objects, temperature. How do we measure temperature? So that is measured by the help of thermometers, and there are different types of thermometers, and there are different types based on for what purpose they are being used. Whether it is being used to measure the temperature of the body or some chemical substances, or to measure the temperature of the atmosphere, take the data from atmosphere. Then we have learned how heat transfers from one body to another. What are the different modes? So they are respectively convection, conduction, and radiation. Okay, and we will be learning at the examples of convection in our daily life. We'll be learning about concept of sea breeze and land breeze quickly. Okay, how does the heat from the sun reaches us? Even there is no medium between the earth and the sun. Okay, then what are the different applications of heat in our daily life? Okay, and how is it good and how is it bad for us? What are the applications working on the concept of convection, conduction, radiation? How the water, coffee, or tea remains hot or cold in the thermostat bottle? So those things we are going to quickly learn. Also, the like you have the examples of some other uh, machines, equipments that also works on this concept. We'll be learning about that. So heat is basically a form of energy, right? That travels from a hotter region to a colder region, from a hot object to a colder object. Like for example, when you touch something really hot, so you feel that something has flown in your hand. You feel some sensation in your hand. So actually, there's some energy that has traveled, that has transferred from the hotter object to the colder object. Getting it now?
Like a form of energy.
Yeah, it's a form of energy, right? So it's a form of energy that flows from the hot object to the colder object. Okay, and that heat is measured in a SI unit called as joule. Okay, Now the question is like,
Okay.
how do we decide whether an object is hot or cold? Because we have discussed in the previous classes that our sense of touch sometimes deceives us. We cannot rely. Like when you will be putting your hand in this cold water, your hand becomes cold. So you will say, okay, this water is cold. When you dip your other hand in the hot water, the water seems hot. So you say the water is hot. Okay, now your hand might start to burn. But now, when you will be dipping both of your hand in the lukewarm water, you understand, neither too hot, neither too cold. Normal water, water with normal temperature. So then, what will happen? This hand which you have dipped here, this hand, okay, now the hand A, let's call this as hand A. This will feel warm. This is going to feel warm, and the hand B, which you have dipped earlier in the hot water,
Cold.
now it will feel cold. So your sense
Because
is
it's been a
deceiving
change
you.
of temperature.
Yeah, not change of temperature, but there's a
Because
different
like
thing here.
it's kind of like from cold to warm, so you feel warm, and now it's from hot to less hot, so you feel cold.
No, no, that is not the way how we understand. See,
Yeah,
basically the
the
thing is that,
second hand goes from hot to cold. That's why.
Mhm, yeah. So yeah,
Like that.
relatively they are compared. See, the thing is that this cold hand, when it is put into the lukewarm water, okay, na? So in comparison to cold water, lukewarm water is slightly warmer. Na? You have cold water, you have normal water. So normal water is going to be warmer than the cold water. Now, if you were to compare it, tell me, getting it or not? What I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
right? Cold water will
Yeah.
have less temperature, while lukewarm water will have more temperature in comparison to
Yeah.
this. I am saying. So the heat always, you guys know, flows from a region, from a hotter object to colder object now, right? So this lukewarm water is hotter in comparison to your cold hand. Your hand A is cold and you have dipped this into lukewarm water. So heat is going to flow from the lukewarm water to your hand. Getting it, everyone? So although the
Oh,
water's temperature is normal, but it appears to you as if the water is warm. Although it's a normal water, but the heat is flowing from the lukewarm water towards your hand.
more.
Huh.
It's going more because the more cold, the more heat it goes. The more heat
And
is
then the
transferred.
hand B, which you had earlier dipped into the hot water, now when you will compare the hot water to the lukewarm water, so lukewarm water's temperature is less now, right? Hot water's temperature is more, lukewarm water's temperature is more, right? So when you have dipped your this hand into the lukewarm water, now where will the heat flow from? From your hand into the
Heat
water
will
now,
come from your hand to the water.
right? So you're
So
losing
the
the heat.
decrease in heat, the decrease in heat in your hand will give the sensation of coolness.
Exactly.
So that's
So you're losing the heat from your hand. The heat transfer from your hand to the water, thereby you will feel cold. So your sense is not deceiving. But on one your hand, you're feeling the water is hot. On the other hand, you're feeling the water is cold. But the water is
yeah,
neither
it's a very
hot, neither
simple.
cold. It's lukewarm water. It's normal water. So thereby we cannot rely on our sense of touch. So thereby we have the device called as thermometer that can be used to find out how hot or how cold an object is. Okay, Halima. Okay,
and
Ibrahim.
and
Salman.
exact and exact,
Yes.
And exact temperature also we get to know, right?
much more
Also,
accurate than that.
exactly. Also, temperature is basically the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Okay, na?
Yeah,
And that
my
can be
teacher
measured
always
with the
says
help
this.
of
I'm like,
thermometer only.
Mom, why is it so complex? Like
Mhm.
when I was first heard it, I thought it's
Yeah,
very simple. Just say it's the measure of the heat a object has. But I realized that it makes much more sense if you say it like this now.
exactly. Like 50 degrees Celsius is also hot, right? 100 degrees
Yeah.
Celsius is also hot. 150 is more also hot. But how hot it is, how cold it is, so that can be said by temperature, by measurement of its
Mhm.
temperature only, and that is done with the help of thermometer. Then thermometers are of different types. We have the example of clinical thermometer that has a temperature reading from 35 to 42 degrees Celsius
Yes, sir.
right now. Okay, when you take a look at the structure of the clinical thermometer, its body is made up of glass. Earlier, this type of thermometer was used. Nowadays, we have the modern types of clinical thermometers that does not have a
Yeah, you will
glass body.
totally die.
It's
You will die
flexible.
if you bite the glass by accident.
Hmm, yeah,
Like
it
they
does
say
not
that somebody.
break. It does not break
Easily.
and works on the tiny dry cells in it. Okay, na? It has a thermistor on mounted on its end, which is very sensitive towards
Yeah.
temperature. The same thermistor is put into the air conditioners also, or into
Yes,
another
sir.
devices also, that tells you the temperature. Getting it now? So it's sensitive towards heat. Talking
So it
about
can
the
be very,
structure. Mhm.
so it can be very accurate.
Yeah.
That's why.
So we have the bulb. In the bulb, liquid mercury is found. You can take a look at the liquid mercury. This is how it looks like. Okay.
Oh, it looks like gallium.
Yeah, it kind of looks like. Now we
How is
have the
gallium?
capillary tube inside this, into which the mercury can expand. Okay. Na? Also, one special thing about the clinical thermometer has is that it has a construction called as kink. So when this will be put onto the
Keeps it
tongue,
still.
or yeah, it we will be learning about that in a proper sequence. Otherwise, it will get mixed up. Okay.
It makes it hard for the mercury to go back because of the gravity. So it move to the side, and it's hard for it. So you can easily in the present time you can check quickly, and then you'll know the temperature. If it
Exactly.
was directly a straight one, it would
Mhm.
just go quickly down, so you
E-
couldn't measure it accurately.
exactly. So it basically prevents the mercury from falling back to the bulb immediately. So when you will be
Yeah,
putting the bulb into the will bring it in contact with the body of the person who is suffering from fever, let's say, or even if he's not suffering from the fever, either it is put in the underarms, or like if it is put on the tongue. So the mercury will not start to expand. Mercury is found in the liquid state at the room temperature, right? It's the only metal to be found in the liquid state at the room temperature. Okay, now, so it will expand and expand, and at some point it is going to stop. If it stops at 37 degrees Celsius, it means you are not suffering from fever, and that's a normal body temperature. But if it exceeds 37 degrees Celsius, okay, like 38, 39, so then the person is suffering from fever. So that is the thing. Now, other than being used in the clinical thermometers, mercury was also used earlier in the compact fluorescent lamps. Okay, na? And also this mercury is toxic in nature. Suppose if it the thermometer breaks, someone accidentally eats it, so it can be very dangerous for the health. If
yeah, that
consumed in
immediate
excessive
death.
quantity, it can even lead to death. Okay,
Sir,
so that is the thing. Yeah.
can we hold
And
mercury?
there's actually some percentages of metal in our body, about
Yeah.
0.001% gallium,
Yeah, like different kind of
about
metals,
that much.
different kind of metals are found in our body in
And
varying
it's usually
percentage.
from the water we drink.
Mhm. Yeah, Halima, tell me, you were saying something. Halima,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you were saying something.
No, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, I said, can we like hold mercury?
Yeah, we can hold mercury. Okay, na? We can keep mercury in our hand. We can kind of hold it. Like if you try to like hold it with your fingers like this, then it
It's
will
kind of like
split.
gallium. It's like
Huh.
gallium.
Yeah, yeah. So if you try to like kind of try to pinch it with your fingers, then it will split. Okay, na? So so the thing is that it's a liquid metal found in the like at the room temperature is found in the liquid state. Okay, now also it is highly poisonous. Okay, now it is highly poisonous. Getting it now? Also, one should avoid exposure to mercury. Getting it up, because if like studies have shown that it can enter the body through our skin, or if the vapor of mercury is inhaled, so it can lead to mercury poisoning. So we should
Yeah,
always
same with arsenic.
wear
Same with
gloves.
arsenic.
Yeah, we should wear gloves if you are trying to hold it. Okay, na Halima? We should wear gloves if we have to hold it. Got
Okay.
it? Yeah. Now, while using the clinical thermometer, we should always wash it before and after the use with an antiseptic solution, or simply with boiling water. We can not with boiling water, but with an antiseptic solution. Okay, now then it should be kept properly. It should be read, keeping the level of mercury along the side of line, like it should be held like this. Okay, that is the thing. Then we have the digital thermometer, which is a safer option. It does not break. It works on tiny dry cells. Okay, and it is safe because it does not use mercury, but use a very sensitive thing called as thermistor. Okay, and it gives you a digital reading like this. Okay, so it's accurate also, can be used by anyone. You don't need any kind of training to use this. Then we have the laboratory thermometer. It's also construction is quite similar, but the reading range is different. It reads temperature from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. It also
And
has
sir,
a
it does not
capillary tube.
have king. It does not have
Exactly.
king.
Good, Halima. It does not have a kink. So you can take its.
Because kink is not necessary, because you can just keep it inside the inside what you want
Uh,
to measure. So yeah, kink is no need.
so it has to be
It,
used while it is in the given solution. At the same time, it has to be used. You have to
and
take the
usually
reading vital.
alcohol is put in those thermometers,
Sir,
because
sir,
if mercury seeps out, it could lead to some some problems. For
No, no.
example, the
In this, no, no. In this, mercury is used only. In the laboratory thermometer, mercury is used. Okay.
alcohol sometimes,
sir,
right?
No, no. It's not about like sometimes alcohol can be used. Yeah. Tell me,
sir, how much temperature is there in laboratory
one hundred and ten
from
degrees
minus
Celsius.
10 to?
From minus 10 to 110 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
Okay, now that is the range of it. Getting it? So this too has a glass like the capillary tube. So while we'll be putting it into this solution, like we have put it into into some chemical solution, we should make sure that the bulb does not touches the base. Otherwise, it might break or there will be error in the reading. The bulb should not touch the base. So the reading will be taken by keeping it vertically, like in a vertical position like this, and it should be kept immersed into the solution while you're taking the reading. It's not like you will take it out and then you will take the reading, because as soon as you take it out, the mercury will soon fall back to the bulb and you won't be able to take the reading. We should handle it with care since it is made up of glass. Also, we can take help of some holders also. We should not hold it directly with our hand, because if the temperature, uh, it can if suppose the liquid is very hot, so it may become very hot, you might hurt yourself.
110 degrees Celsius and it can burst
Yeah,
probably.
if it's more than that, it can burst also, but we generally
Pressure.
take care of
It will
that.
have a
That
lot of pressure. So you never
Yeah.
know. Because of the heat
Mm,
from your hand, it might just make it slightly more and yeah, boom. So yeah.
exactly. Then we have the examples of the another type of thermometers also called as the maximum and the minimum thermometer. So maximum and minimum thermometer, that is also mercury based thermometer. It measures the highest temperature and the lowest temperature that has reached in a day. Okay, now that is the thing. By the way, it does not use a mercury. It's not a mercury based thermometer. Let me clarify that. So instead of that, it uses alcohol. What does it uses?
Ah,
So
alcohol.
this one actually
alcohol.
uses
Usually
alcohol.
the alcohol is colored. Usually the alcohol is colored with
It
dye.
is it is so that we can spot it, like we
See,
can see its expansion and contraction. Getting it? So it alcohol is known to measure the temperature between minus 112 degrees Celsius to 78 degrees Celsius. Okay, if the temperature exceeds 78 degrees Celsius, so then alcohol will it will vaporize. Okay, now so
vapor.
so the alcohol like if you were to use mercury or some other liquid in it, na, so that will freeze at minus 112 degrees Celsius, but alcohol
So
will not freeze.
usually uh, for laboratories that research on very cold things,
Hmm.
probably they'll use alcohol for this.
Like weather stations, they are present in the coldest regions also. Coldest region, like for example Antarctica, let's say. They're all. So
Siberia.
we have Siberia, we have a weather station. In a weather station we have thermometer like this maximum minimum thermometer that will tell you the minimum and the maximum temperature that has reached in a day. So there you cannot use mercury because mercury will freeze and then you won't be getting the reading. But you can use alcohol because it won't freeze. That's the thing. So it is recorded to both. It is designed to record both maximum and minimum temperature that have occurred over a given period of time, like a day. And in the weather report, you can see like the different datas are provided to you. At 12 a.m., what's the temperature? right now, how much of humidity is there, what are the chances of rainfall, what is the direction in which wind is blowing, and what speed the wind is blowing. So these data are given in the weather report, right? So you can see here the maximum and the minimum temperature that has reached throughout the day has been given here. Like the maximum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and minimum was 21 degrees Celsius. So this reading was taken with the help of the maximum and minimum thermometer that uses alcohol in it. Okay. Further, we have different scales to measure the temperature. We have the Fahrenheit scale, degree Celsius scale, and Kelvin scale. Okay. As you guys know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, right? Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
And this 100 degrees Celsius temperature is same as 212 in degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now so whether you say 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degree Fahrenheit, or 373 degrees Celsius, all of it is reflecting to boiling point of water. It talks about the boiling point of water.
Sir, 0 degrees Celsius is equal to how many Fahrenheit? 32-degree Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay.
Okay. So, so sir, like, so if we're adding 0 degrees Celsius plus 0 degrees Celsius, it'll
Mhm.
be 64 degrees Celsius because I feel it weird.
No,
Like,
no,
shouldn't it be?
that is not the way how it works, and that is not logical. Okay, no, that is not the way like how we can sum it up. Like getting it.
Yeah.
Okay. So water
I
freezes at
just
zero
feel
degrees
like it's
Celsius.
weird.
It
Doesn't
is
make
weird
sense.
and it does not make any sense. So water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, and that is equivalent to 32 degree Fahrenheit in the Fahrenheit scale and 273 Kelvin in the Kelvin scale. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't have to do the calculation like some of you did not had this in syllabus, so we won't be learning about the conversion. Okay, further.
Conversion.
Mhm.
We didn't learn the conversion of Kelvin, but
Basically what you have to do there, you have to add 273. If the temperature is given in degrees Celsius, you add 273, you'll be getting the reading in Kelvin. Like for example, if it's
oh,
25 degrees Celsius, you want to convert that into Kelvin, so just add 273, and that is going to be 298 Kelvin. Okay, like that.
what about negative 273? That's going to be 0 Kelvin. So negative 273 degrees Celsius is equal to 0 Kelvin or 38 picokelvin, right?
Negative, repeat again.
Negative 273 degrees Celsius
Yeah, that will
is equal to
basically zero.
38 pico.
If you have got negative 273 degrees Celsius, you are going to convert that into Kelvin. So you'll be adding 273 negative and it's positive. So both of them will be cancelled and that will be 0 Kelvin.
What about Fahrenheit?
As I said, now we don't have to learn about the conversion. If you wish, we can do that later in some extra class. Okay, no?
Oh, okay.
It's not part of the syllabus, so we won't be discussing that. Then we have substances that allows the heat to pass through it easily, and there are some substances that do not allow the heat to pass through them easily. So different objects have different rate of conduction. Some of them which have a good rate of conduction, which allows the heat to pass through them very easily, they are conductors, and examples are metals, iron, for example, copper. And then materials like wood, cotton, rubber, clay,
They have
they
too
don't
much high
allow the heat to
resistance.
pass through them easily. Yeah. So they offer so much of resistance and hence they are insulators.
Yes, because they have too many ohms, so the ohms cancel out with the amount of amps of current. So yeah,
Mhm.
when you actually add a too much amount of current, it goes against the ohms
Mhm.
or the resistance law, which is ohms, and yeah, it works. For some metals, it's true, but usually for glass, it would also be true, but glass would melt by then.
Mhm. Okay.
That's why.
Then then we have these examples. Further, we have discussed that there are different modes of transfer of heat. There are different modes of transfer of heat. They are respectively conduction, convection, and radiation. Okay, na? Conduction, convection, and radiation. Talking about convection, for example. So convection, it's a process by which heat is transferred by movement of heated liquids, heated fluids like air, like water. So the medium is getting heated.
Yeah, that's
The
fine.
molecules of the
That's
medium are
fine. It's
getting heated
plasma.
and they are moving.
It's fine. So
Mhm.
I used to think, when my teacher used to say it only comes from water, I used to think, why can't it come from solid? Because the sun is solid. But I realized that due to gravity, the all of the plasma in the sun is together. Otherwise, it's technically liquid.
Sun isn't in solid state, by the way. Take a look at
No,
this
it's
example.
like plasma. It's plasma. Inside there's plasma, liquid plasma. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
why it's in
there is.
solid state because of the gravity.
Mhm. Take a look at this solution here. So as it is being heated on this burner, so the molecules of the water or some liquid that is
Go
close
rise
to
up
the surface, they will
and
become
then they
hot.
cool and go down.
Yeah. As they will get heated up, so they will become lighter. They will become lighter. So they will rise up, and as they come close to the surface, they lose heat, they become dense and
Because
heavy,
it's
and then
good. So
again return back to the base. And this circle goes on and on, and this sets a convection current. What does it do?
because this happens because the molecules they vibrate too much due to this, right?
Mhm. They basically
So
gain
it causes
energy and they start vibrating and they rise up. Okay.
yes.
So molecules like they
And
are
movement
rising
of
up.
molecules causes friction, which causes the heat we experience.
Yeah. It's about that. Also, they are gaining energy, so they are all are colliding with each other. They're vibrating, and
And
all
the
of them are
energy
getting
and the
heated up.
energy is converted into heat energy due to friction.
Mhm. So convection happens in the liquid, but it happens in the gaseous medium also. So we have some practical daily life examples of that also. But first of all, let's learn about, hold on, about the convection current. I mean to say convection in the air. Okay. See what happens during the daytime, the air above the land gets heated up faster. Right now, as the air above the land it gets heated up, so it becomes lighter. Right, Halima? Right, Salman and Ibrahim? Air becomes lighter. And the
Yes, sir.
lighter particles it rises up in the air. Getting it now? So the lighter particles they will rise up. Okay. Now, since these air molecules, they have warmed up and they are rising, so an empty space is created here. Okay, na? An
And it
empty
needs to
space
be
is,
filled.
and it needs to be filled. Good, Ibrahim. So the cold air above the
Pressure.
ocean,
It's due to
above,
the air pressure because the air pressure gives a force which needs to make
hold
the
on.
air
No,
from
no,
high
hold
pressure
on.
air to low pressure.
First, we need to understand about the temperature difference. Then we'll be talking about the role of atmospheric pressure here. Okay, now. Hold on. So the air molecules above the water, it is still cold. It is still cold and dense. Okay, now it is cold and dense like heavy. Okay, now. So what will happen? The air from the water body, air above the water body, will rush towards the land in order to acquire the empty space created due to the rising air. Okay,
Of
and
warm
this
air.
cycle will continue throughout the day. So it sets up a current. It sets up a convection current. Getting it? This cyclic movement of the molecules of the medium, no, that is called as convection current. Getting it? Just like moments ago, you had the example of a convection current in this one. No? You see this cyclic movement of the molecules of the medium, right? Where
But
the
due to a
molecules are
different
moving.
effect,
Yeah.
they have they are happening because of the same thing, because of the heating and cooling, which causes them to vibrate. Same thing with the convection of air.
Uh-huh. So basically, what has happening? A cyclic movement is seen over here, where the hotter molecules are rising up, they cool up, and they descend back. They come back to the base and again get heated up. So a cyclic movement that is set here, and that is called as convection current, which you can see here in this.
And
Okay.
that's why if you heat a liquid on the side, only that side will get heat.
Only not only that side, it will
The
heat the
top side,
others.
the top part,
The
the
heat
top part, but the bottom
eventually,
part will not.
eventually, what
The
happens?
part with the water.
All the part of the liquid eventually gets heated up. So
But
further, whatever
in a
is
long period of time. Basically, if you put it down, the process happens faster.
Hmm. Now look over here once again. So as we have discussed moments ago, that the lighter air is moving up and the cold heavy air is moving towards the land in order to occupy the space. So this is how the air moves. Okay, na? And here there is a region of high pressure because of more number of air molecules. There are more air molecules in this. There are less air molecules in this. So this region has a higher pressure. This region has a low pressure. So air is also moving from a region of high pressure to low pressure. Okay, na? So there's an important role of convection in movement of air. If the convection were not to happen, if convection was not happening, so air would not be moving from one place to another. Getting it now? The varying temperature, the different temperature over the land and the water, over the land and the water body,
Causes
it
difference in
causes
air pressure,
exactly causes different in the pressure.
which
Getting it, everyone?
causes movement of air. So if there was no process of convection and no convection occurred, then there will
Hmm.
be no moving winds.
Exactly. Wind would
Only
not
from
have.
external forces,
Yeah,
like fans and all of that. But
good.
that doesn't count.
Hmm. Now the convection current, it gives rise to breeze and the coastal region. So during the
Yeah,
daytime, this phenomena which we have understood like it's happening in the daytime, in the night opposite of this is going to happen. So during the daytime when this phenomena happens, that is called a sea breeze, where the cold air moves from the sea towards the land. And during the night opposite happens, because you guys know this thing, that the air above the like the water body, it heats up
faster.
slowly. Uh-huh.
No,
Heats up
slow, slow.
slowly and cools down slowly, while the
Yeah,
land, it heats up faster and cools down also faster. It heats up quickly and cools down also quickly. Getting it now?
yeah.
But the water, it takes time to heat up. It will take a longer period of time to become warm. Then it will, in order to cool down also, it is going to take a long period of time. So during the night, the land will be cold. When you will be walking on the land will be cold, but the water will still be slightly warm. Getting it, guys? So the air above the water body is going to be hotter now. So it will rise up. So an empty space will be created here. And the air above the land that is still cool and heavy, it will rush towards the ocean to take the empty space. So convection current
Yeah,
is
that's
set
why
up
when
during
you
the
stand
night
right
also.
next to next to the
Mhm.
light in front of the sea, then it's very cold in the night.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
really
exactly.
nice breeze.
Hmm. So that leads to what? That leads to the land breeze.
Sea
Getting it? No,
breeze.
no, that is leads to land breeze.
And
Land breeze at
okay.
night, sea breeze during day. During daytime, it's sea breeze. During nighttime, it is land breeze. Okay, no? So that is the thing. Then we have different application of convection. Okay, no? There are different applications of convection. For example, the exhaust fan in your room, it is put in near, it is placed on the like on the top of the room, on the top of the wall, right now. Then room heaters, they are placed on the floor of the room. Ventilators are also put at the top of
Yeah,
the window or the door. Why? Because the warm air will always rise up now. You want the warm air to escape from your room. So where
Yeah.
should the ventilators or the exhaust fan be put? It should be put in the top of the room, top of the uh,
yeah, because if it's
window.
on the bottom, then it will take a lot of time for it to work.
Exactly. Then
And
we
it's
have the
affordable.
concept of exactly. We have the concept of like this hot air balloon is also working on the concept of convection. Actually, the warm air
Because due to the
being
high
lighter.
pressure, it creates it wants to go up
Mhm.
and thus it creates a high pressure and it pushes it up.
Yeah.
And it's also lighter at the same time, so it wants to rise,
Mm. Exactly.
causing
So
air
the
pressure.
warm air being lighter, it will rise up. As the warm air will be rising up here, no, Ibrahim, Salman, Harime, as it will be rising up, so it will exert force on the surface of the hot air balloon, right? And because of that force, it is going to rise up, right now. And now, if you have to bring this hot air balloon back to the ground, so you will extinguish the flame, like you will slowly turn off the flame, right now. You will decrease
Because
the
if you
flame.
completely turn it off, you're done.
Not not
Mhm.
immediately, but slowly and gradually you're going to turn it off. Okay, that's the thing. Now another thing is about conduction. Another mode of transfer of heat is the conduction. Okay, now so it's a transfer of heat by the direct contact of
Yeah,
particles
I
of
know
the
this
matter.
one.
So in this, what happens?
It's
Hold on. So the thing is that, let's say that these are the particles of the medium. Okay, now like they are the atoms basically. We are roughly calling it as particle, but if you were to we were to be very specific, so they are basically atoms. Okay,
yeah,
so it's a transfer of heat by the direct contact of particles of matter. Getting it now? So what is going to happen as we are going to heat this end of the rod?
conduction,
So the particles or the atoms, they are going to vibrate. Right now they will
convection, and
move
conduction.
only a short distance, like they're going to vibrate. Okay na? And they will bump into one another. Okay na? Like this atom over, sorry, what happened to this? 1 second. Like this atom is going to vibrate for a short distance, and then it will bump into the another atom. It is going to strike the another atom. This atom is going to strike the another atom. So in this manner, the heat energy will be transferred rapidly by conduction. Okay na?
Mhm.
It will be
Yes.
transferring the energy from one into the another, and this flow will occur till both the end acquires the same temperature. Getting it? Or let's say this one also becomes, like, let's say 100 degrees Celsius, and this side also becomes 100 degrees Celsius. Then the flow is going to stop. Now the flow will stop if all the portion of this rod has acquired the same energy, acquired the same temperature, then flow will stop. So as you guys can see here. Okay. Also, we had this experiment we discussed about it, remember? Like with the help
Yeah,
of the
we put it
wax,
on
we are going to
wax,
put the iron
and
nails.
it heats up the wax, melts the wax, and it falls down.
Exactly. So that was the activity to show the conduction of heat. Then we have practical application of conduction in our daily life. Okay. So like if you were to make the cooking utensils of a insulator, right now, so we you will not be able to cook the food. So in order to cook the
Yeah,
food properly, we'll be using the good conductors, like like copper, steel. Okay na? Not particularly like a steel, stainless steel is preferred. Okay na? Or cooking utensils made up of cast iron is a good option. Okay. Also, you guys
hmm,
know that one should be eating in the brass plates. Okay. Nowadays, there are so many problems associated with this thing. Like if you are eating in the plastic plates or plastic cooking utensils, that is not preferable because
they
of the
also
problem
say
of
that because of that,
microplastic.
many people they eat from it, and sometimes an average person he consumes so much plastic every
Mhm.
week that it's equal to eating a whole credit card worth of plastic.
No, that will be a bit exaggeration, I would say. Okay, right? It will not.
No, like,
Those microplastics
I
will not
also
amount to
accept,
the
but
size of.
people who usually practice eating in plastic plates, they usually get that much amount of. It's
Yeah,
average for Americans.
but it's not going to get anywhere. Like won't be amounting to
Microplastics.
the size of that card. Okay, no? That's a bit
No,
of
in one whole week.
exaggeration.
In one whole
Not
week.
even in one whole week it is going to amount to anywhere near that. Okay, I think that's an exaggeration. So that is
I
about
don't have a
conduction.
microwave.
Yeah. Okay. Is that you who have joined from this? Like, who is this iPad 2? Salman, is that you or someone else?
I am Ibrahim only. Ibrahim.
So
Okay.
You
actually,
can.
I'm here for the next class. Actually,
Oh, sorry. I thought it's like this some student. Yeah. So we'll be finishing this quickly. Now we have another mode of transfer of heat, and that is radiation. Okay, now. So the transfer of heat in the form of rays for which a medium is not required is called radiation. Like the heat from the sun reaches the earth via radiation, and in this form of in this heat travels in the form of rays. Heat travels in the form of rays, and heat cannot travel only in one direction, but it can travel in different directions. Like the heat from the sun is not reaching; it's not only reaching the earth; it's reaching the moon and other planets also. Now it's reaching everywhere in the solar system, right? It's
It
reaching
goes in this
every
direction,
other
like
planets.
everywhere.
right now. So similarly, when you will be placing your hand right beneath this incandescent bulb, now whether you put your hand over here, or here, in every direction you are going to feel the heat coming out of it. Okay, now getting it. But in the case of conduction, we have learned that heat is flowing in the linear fashion like this, right now. In the convection